Let's get ready for the Florida real estate exam with 100 questions covering state-specific laws, principles, and practices you'll need to know. And don't miss what's happening in the bottom corner. It could be key to your exam prep. We'll tell you how in a minute. Now let's get started.
Let's dive right in to Florida real estate laws and regulations. We'll start with an overview of Florida real estate statutes. What is the primary purpose of Chapter 475 of the Florida Statutes? Is it A, to regulate real estate licensing and practices, B, to set property tax rates, C, to provide zoning regulations, or D, to manage environmental protections? The answer is A, to regulate real estate licensing and practices. Chapter 475 regulates the licensing and conduct of real estate professionals in Florida. It ensures that real estate transactions are conducted ethically and legally, protecting both consumers and professionals. Which entity is responsible for enforcing the real estate laws in Florida? Is it A, Florida Department of Revenue, B, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, C, Florida Real Estate Commission, or D, Florida Department of Transportation? The answer is C, Florida Real Estate Commission. The Florida Real Estate Commission enforces real estate laws, ensuring compliance with Chapter 475. They oversee licensing, education, and disciplinary actions for real estate professionals.
Have you noticed the code in the bottom corner? Next time you're stumped, take that code to birdsey.ai for immediate help and a free study session with Birdsey, your personal AI study partner. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of additional questions, helping you move closer to passing your exam with confidence. The next time you're feeling unsure or stuck, give it a try.
What is the role of the Division of Real Estate in Florida? Is it A, to set property values for taxation, B, to support FREC with administrative services, C, to issue building permits, or D, to enforce environmental regulations? The answer is B, to support FREC with administrative services. The Division of Real Estate supports the FREC by providing administrative services, ensuring the proper implementation of real estate laws, and handling applications and records. Under Florida law, what must a real estate licensee disclose to a prospective buyer? Is it A, the seller's financial status, B, the neighborhood crime rate, C, the property's selling history, or D, material facts affecting property value? The answer is D, material facts affecting property value. Licensees must disclose all known facts that materially affect the property's value and are not readily observable. This ensures transparency and protects buyers from unforeseen issues. What is required for a real estate licensee to renew their license in Florida? Is it A, submit a new application form, B, complete continuing education courses, C, pass a renewal examination, or D, provide a financial statement? The answer is B, complete continuing education courses. Licensees must complete continuing education requirements to renew their license. This ensures they remain informed about changes in laws and industry practices. Florida-specific fair housing laws. Which of the following is a protected class under Florida's fair housing laws? Is it A, political affiliation, B, marital status, C, familial status, or D? The answer is C, familial status. Florida's fair housing laws protect classes such as race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. These protections are in line with federal laws, but may have state-specific nuances. What is the primary purpose of Florida's Fair Housing Act? Is it A, to prevent discrimination in housing transactions, B, to regulate real estate agent licensing, C, to control housing market prices, or D, to manage rental property maintenance standards? The answer is A, to prevent discrimination in housing transactions. The primary purpose of Florida's Fair Housing Act is to prohibit discrimination in housing-related transactions based on protected classes, ensuring equal access to housing for all individuals. Which action would be considered a violation of Florida's fair housing laws? Is it A, offering different rental rates based on credit score? B, refusing to rent to a family with children? C, declining a tenant due to a criminal record? Or D, setting a no-pet policy for all tenants? The answer is B, refusing to rent to a family with children. Refusing to rent to a family with children is a violation under the familial status protection in Florida's fair housing laws, which aim to prevent discrimination against families. How does Florida's Fair Housing Act address discrimination based on disability? Is it A, it mandates free housing for disabled individuals? B, it prohibits any modifications to housing? C, it allows landlords to charge higher rent? Or D, it requires reasonable accommodations and modifications? The answer is D, it requires reasonable accommodations and modifications. The Act requires reasonable accommodations in housing policies and modifications to premises for individuals with disabilities, ensuring they have equal access to housing opportunities. What is a potential consequence for violating Florida's fair housing laws? Is it A, fines and legal action? B, mandatory community service? C, increased property taxes? Or D, immediate eviction of tenants? The answer is A, fines and legal action. Violators of Florida's fair housing laws may face penalties, including fines, legal action, and damages to aggrieved parties, ensuring compliance and protection against discrimination. Florida-specific contract requirements. Which of the following is required for a valid real estate contract in Florida? Is it A, written form? B, verbal agreement? C, notarized signature? Or D, witnessed signature? The answer is A, written form. In Florida, a valid real estate contract requires mutual consent, lawful object, consideration, and competent parties. A written form is essential for real estate transactions to satisfy the statute of frauds. What is the primary purpose of the Florida statute of frauds in real estate transactions? Is it A, to ensure contracts are notarized? B, to prevent fraudulent claims? C, to establish contract timelines? Or D, to mandate witness signatures? The answer is B, to prevent fraudulent claims. The Florida statute of frauds requires certain contracts to be in writing to prevent fraud and perjury by ensuring there is a clear record of the agreement's terms. In Florida, which party is typically responsible for selecting the title insurance company in a real estate transaction? Is it A, the seller? B, the lender? C, the real estate agent? Or D, the buyer? The answer is D, the buyer. In Florida, the party responsible for selecting the title insurance company varies by region, but often the buyer selects the company, especially in southern parts of the state. What is an as-is contract in Florida real estate? Is it A, a contract with mandatory repairs? B, a contract without inspection rights? C, a contract selling property in current condition? Or D, a contract with extended closing dates? The answer is C, a contract selling property in current condition. An as-is contract in Florida real estate means the property is sold in its current condition and the seller is not obligated to make repairs, though the buyer retains inspection rights. Which document must be provided to a buyer under the Florida Condominium Act? Is it A, condominium disclosure statement? B, homeowners association bylaws? C, property appraisal report? Or D, environmental impact statement? The answer is A. Condominium Disclosure Statement. The Florida Condominium Act requires sellers to provide a condominium disclosure statement detailing the buyer's rights to cancel the contract within a specified period after receiving the documents.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Let's continue with a look at licensing requirements and procedures. Florida licensing requirements and procedures. What is the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license in Florida? Is it A, 18 years old, B, 19 years old, C, 20 years old, or D, 21 years old? The answer is A, 18 years old. In Florida, the minimum age requirement to obtain a real estate license is 18 years old. This ensures that applicants have reached the age of majority and can legally enter into contracts. Which of the following is required to apply for a real estate license in Florida? Is it A, pass a national real estate exam, B, complete a 63-hour pre-licensing course, C, have a high school diploma or GED, or D, submit a letter of recommendation? The answer is B, complete a 63-hour pre-licensing course. Applicants must complete a 63-hour pre-licensing course approved by the Florida Real Estate Commission before applying for a real estate license in Florida. How often must a Florida real estate licensee renew their license? Is it A, annually, B, every 3 years, C, every 2 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is C, every 2 years. Florida real estate licenses must be renewed every 2 years. This biennial renewal ensures that licensees remain current with industry practices and legal requirements. What continuing education requirement must Florida real estate licensees fulfill for renewal? Is it A, 10 hours, including 2 hours of core law, B, 12 hours, including 4 hours of ethics, C, 16 hours, including 5 hours of core law, or D, 14 hours, including 3 hours of core law? The answer is D, 14 hours, including 3 hours of core law. Florida requires licensees to complete 14 hours of continuing education every 2 years, including 3 hours of core law, to ensure they stay informed about legal and industry changes. Which of the following is not a requirement for obtaining a Florida real estate license? Is it A, passing the state licensing exam, B, having a college degree, C, completing a background check, or D, submitting fingerprints? The answer is B, having a college degree. A college degree is not required to obtain a real estate license in Florida. The primary requirements include being 18 years old, completing a pre-licensing course, and passing the state exam. Continuing education requirements. What is the minimum number of continuing education hours required every 2 years for a licensed real estate salesperson in Florida? Is it A, 10 hours, B, 12 hours, C, 14 hours, or D, 16 hours? The answer is C, 14 hours. Florida requires real estate salespersons to complete 14 hours of continuing education every 2 years. This ensures that licensees stay updated with industry changes and maintain their professional competence. Which of the following topics is a mandatory component of the continuing education curriculum for Florida real estate licensees? Is it A, marketing strategies, B, core law, C, real estate finance, or D, property management? The answer is B, core law. Florida requires a mandatory 3-hour course in core law as part of the continuing education to keep licensees informed about legal updates affecting real estate practice. How often must a licensed real estate broker in Florida complete their continuing education requirements? Is it A, every 2 years, B, annually, C, every 3 years, or D, every 5 years? The answer is A, every 2 years. Licensed real estate brokers in Florida must complete their continuing education every 2 years. This biennial requirement ensures they remain informed about industry changes and legal updates. Which of the following is not a valid reason for a real estate licensee in Florida to be exempt from continuing education requirements? Is it A, military service, B, age over 65 with 25 years of licensure, C, serious illness, or D, financial hardship? The answer is D, financial hardship. While military service, age, and illness can provide grounds for exemption, financial hardship alone is not a recognized reason for exemption from continuing education in Florida. What specific course must be completed as part of the continuing education for first-time renewals of a Florida real estate license? Is it A, 45-hour post-licensing course, B, 30-hour advanced practice course, C, 60-hour broker pre-licensing course, or D, 15-hour ethics training? The answer is A, 45-hour post-licensing course. First-time renewals in Florida require the completion of a 45-hour post-licensing course, which is essential for new licensees to gain advanced knowledge and skills in real estate practice.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsey.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Florida-specific exam structure and content. What is the minimum passing score required for the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam? Is it A, 70%, B, 75%, C, 80%, or D, 85%? The answer is B, 75%. The Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam requires a minimum passing score of 75%. This ensures that candidates have a sufficient understanding of the material to practice real estate in Florida. Which of the following correctly describes the retake policy for the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam? Is it A, candidates must wait 30 days before retaking the exam, B, candidates can retake the exam only twice within a year, C, candidates can retake the exam immediately after failing, or D, candidates must attend a refresher course before retaking the exam? The answer is C. Candidates can retake the exam immediately after failing. Candidates who fail the exam may retake it as many times as needed, but must wait 24 hours before rescheduling and pay the exam fee each time. How many questions are on the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam? Is it A, 50, B, 75, C, 100, or D, 150? The answer is C, 100. The Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam consists of 100 multiple-choice questions. This format is designed to comprehensively assess the candidate's knowledge and readiness. Which of the following topics is not covered by the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam? Is it A, real estate principles, B, real estate law, C, real estate practices, or D, advanced real estate investment strategies? The answer is D, advanced real estate investment strategies. The Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam covers real estate principles, practices, and law, but does not include topics like advanced real estate investment strategies. What is the time limit for completing the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam? Is it A, 3.5 hours, B, 2 hours, C, 4 hours, or D, 5 hours? The answer is A, 3.5 hours. Candidates have 3.5 hours to complete the Florida Real Estate Sales Associate exam, allowing ample time to carefully consider each question and answer. Now let's look at Florida property ownership and land use. We'll start with a review of types of property ownership. In Florida, what type of property ownership allows for equal ownership shares and the right of survivorship? Is it A, tenancy in common, B, joint tenancy, C, tenancy by the entirety, or D, fee simple? The answer is B, joint tenancy. Joint tenancy in Florida allows for equal ownership shares among co-owners and includes the right of survivorship, meaning if one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the surviving owners. Which type of property ownership in Florida grants an individual the most comprehensive rights and control over a property? Is it A, fee simple, B, leasehold, C, life estate, or D, joint tenancy? The answer is A, fee simple. Fee simple ownership is the most complete form of property ownership, giving the owner the fullest rights to use, control, and transfer the property as they wish. What type of property ownership is characterized by a temporary right to occupy or use land under a lease agreement? Is it A, fee simple, B, joint tenancy, C, leasehold, or D, tenancy in common? The answer is C, leasehold. Leasehold estates involve a lease agreement where the tenant has the right to occupy or use the property for a specified period without owning it. Which form of ownership is exclusive to married couples in Florida and includes survivorship rights? Is it A, joint tenancy, B, tenancy by the entirety, C, tenancy in common, or D, fee simple? The answer is B, tenancy by the entirety. Tenancy by the entirety is a form of ownership exclusive to married couples, providing survivorship rights and protection from individual creditors. In Florida, which type of ownership allows each owner to sell their share without the consent of other owners? Is it A, joint tenancy, B, tenancy by the entirety, C, tenancy in common, or D, leasehold? The answer is C, tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows each owner to independently sell or transfer their share without needing the consent of other co-owners, making it flexible for individual decisions. Public versus private land use controls. What is the primary purpose of zoning ordinances in Florida? Is it A, to increase property taxes, B, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development, C, to provide public transportation routes, or D, to enforce building codes? The answer is B, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development. Zoning ordinances in Florida are designed to regulate land use to ensure the orderly growth and development of communities. They help segregate different land uses, such as residential, commercial, and industrial areas. Which of the following is an example of a private land use control? Is it A, zoning ordinances, B, building permits, C, restrictive covenants, or D, eminent domain? The answer is C, restrictive covenants. Restrictive covenants are private land use controls that are typically established by developers to maintain a certain standard within a community, often included in property deeds. How does Florida's Growth Management Act influence land use? Is it A, by requiring comprehensive plans for sustainable development, B, by allowing unrestricted urban expansion, C, by eliminating all zoning regulations, or D, by privatizing public land? The answer is A, by requiring comprehensive plans for sustainable development. The Growth Management Act mandates comprehensive planning by local governments to manage growth effectively, focusing on sustainable development and infrastructure to accommodate population increases. What is the role of a variance in land use control in Florida? Is it A, to change the zoning classification of a property, B, to enforce building codes, C, to increase property taxes, or D, to allow exceptions to zoning regulations? The answer is D, to allow exceptions to zoning regulations. A variance allows property owners to deviate from zoning requirements due to unique circumstances, providing flexibility while maintaining the overall zoning plan's integrity. Which public land use control tool is used to acquire private property for public use in Florida? Is it A, eminent domain, B, restrictive covenants, C, zoning ordinances, or D, building permits? The answer is A, eminent domain. Eminent domain is a legal process that allows government entities to acquire private property for public use, such as infrastructure projects, with compensation to the owner. Land use and zoning laws. What is the primary purpose of zoning laws in Florida? Is it A, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development, B, to increase property taxes in specific areas, C, to mandate architectural styles in neighborhoods, or D, to enforce environmental protection exclusively? The answer is A, to regulate land use and ensure orderly development. Zoning laws regulate land use to ensure orderly development and protect property values. These laws help separate residential, commercial, and industrial areas to minimize conflicts and promote community welfare. Which of the following is a typical zoning classification in Florida? Is it A, historical, B, residential, C, recreational, or D? The answer is B, residential. Residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural are common zoning classifications. These categories help define the permissible uses of land in different areas, ensuring compatibility and reducing conflicts. What is a variance in the context of Florida zoning laws? Is it A, a temporary zoning change, B, a complete rezoning of an area, C, an exception to a zoning ordinance, or D, a legal dispute over property lines? The answer is C, an exception to a zoning ordinance. A variance is a legal exception to zoning rules, allowing property owners to use their land in a way that deviates from zoning regulations. It's granted when strict enforcement would cause undue hardship. How does Florida's comprehensive plan influence local zoning decisions? Is it A, by setting property tax rates, B, by dictating architectural styles, C, by enforcing building codes, or D, by providing a framework for future development? The answer is D, by providing a framework for future development. Florida's comprehensive plan provides a framework for future development, guiding zoning decisions to ensure consistency with long-term goals. It addresses land use, housing, transportation, and environmental protection. What is the role of a zoning board in Florida? Is it A, to enforce building codes, B, to review and decide on zoning variances and exceptions, C, to increase property values, or D, to manage tax assessments? The answer is B, to review and decide on zoning variances and exceptions. Zoning boards review and approve or deny applications for variances, special exceptions, and rezoning requests. They ensure that land use decisions comply with local ordinances and community plans.
Stuck on a question? Just think of the Birdsey link in the description as your friendly neighborhood superhero, swooping in to save the day with answers. Feel free to explore it now and return to continue. Simply hit pause, and we'll be waiting when you get back.
Condominiums and HOAs. In Florida, what is the primary purpose of a condominium association's reserve fund? Is it A, to pay for daily maintenance tasks, B, to fund community events, C, to cover major repairs and replacements, or D, to invest in real estate opportunities? The answer is C, to cover major repairs and replacements. A reserve fund is crucial for covering major repairs and replacements of common elements in condominiums. Florida law mandates these funds to ensure financial stability and avoid unexpected special assessments. What is a key requirement for amending the declaration of condominium in Florida? Is it A, approval from the Board of Directors only? B, approval from a majority of unit owners? C, approval from the local government? Or D, approval from all unit owners? The answer is B, approval from a majority of unit owners. Amending the declaration typically requires approval from a significant majority of unit owners, often specified as a 2/3 or 3/4 vote, to ensure substantial consensus among owners. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of a homeowners association in Florida? Is it A, enforcing community rules and regulations? B, providing personal insurance for homeowners? C, managing individual unit renovations? Or D, offering financial advice to residents? The answer is A, enforcing community rules and regulations. HOAs are responsible for enforcing community rules and regulations to maintain the community's appearance and value, ensuring compliance with established standards. What must a Florida condominium association provide to a prospective buyer upon request? Is it A, a list of all unit owners? B, the minutes from the last 3 board meetings? C, a detailed history of all past special assessments? Or D, the most recent financial statement? The answer is D, the most recent financial statement. Florida law requires the association to provide a prospective buyer with a copy of the most recent financial statement, ensuring transparency about the association's financial health. How often must a Florida condominium association hold board meetings? Is it A, monthly? B, annually? C, biannually? Or D, quarterly? The answer is B, annually. Florida law requires condominium associations to hold board meetings at least annually, but more frequent meetings are often necessary to effectively manage community affairs. Environmental issues and flood zones. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection regarding land use? Is it A, issuing building permits for residential properties? B, overseeing property tax assessments? C, managing and restoring wetlands? Or D, setting zoning regulations for commercial areas? The answer is C, managing and restoring wetlands. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is responsible for regulating activities that affect the environment, including the management and restoration of wetlands to maintain ecological balance. What is the main purpose of a flood zone designation in Florida? Is it A, to assess flood risk and guide development? B, to determine property tax rates? C, to identify areas for commercial development? Or D, to regulate agricultural land use? The answer is A, to assess flood risk and guide development. Flood zone designations are used to assess flood risk areas and guide the development of floodplain management strategies, ensuring safer construction practices and reducing potential flood damage. What is a potential consequence for property owners who fail to comply with Florida's wetland protection laws? Is it A, increased property taxes? B, mandatory property sale? C, loss of property insurance? Or D, fines and legal action? The answer is D, fines and legal action. Non-compliance with Florida's wetland protection laws can lead to substantial fines and legal action, as the state emphasizes the importance of preserving these critical ecosystems. Why is it important for real estate professionals in Florida to understand flood zone maps? Is it A, to calculate property tax discounts? B, to advise clients on flood risks and insurance needs? C, to determine zoning compliance? Or D, to estimate renovation costs? The answer is B, to advise clients on flood risks and insurance needs. Understanding flood zone maps is crucial for real estate professionals to advise clients on potential flood risks, insurance requirements, and property suitability, ensuring informed decision-making. Which agency is primarily responsible for creating and updating flood zone maps in Florida? Is it A, Florida Department of Transportation, B, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, C, Federal Emergency Management Agency, or D, U.S. Geological Survey? The answer is C, Federal Emergency Management Agency. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is responsible for creating and updating flood zone maps, which are used nationwide to assess and manage flood risks.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Let's review Florida agency law and ethics. Agency relationship laws. What is the primary duty of a real estate agent under Florida agency law? Is it A, to maximize the agent's commission, B, to act in the best interest of their client, C, to disclose all offers to the client, or D, to provide legal advice to the client? The answer is B, to act in the best interest of their client. In Florida, the primary duty of a real estate agent is to act in the best interest of their client, maintaining loyalty and confidentiality as mandated by state law. Which type of agency relationship is not recognized in Florida real estate transactions? Is it A, single agency, B, transactional brokerage, C, dual agency, or D, no brokerage relationship? The answer is C, agency. In Florida, transactional brokerage is common, but dual agency is prohibited to avoid conflicts of interest and ensure clear representation. Under Florida law, when must a real estate agent disclose their agency relationship to a prospective client? Is it A, at the first substantive contact, B, before signing any contract, C, after a property is shown, or D, only if asked by the client? The answer is A, at the first substantive contact. Florida law requires disclosure of agency relationships at the first substantive contact to ensure transparency and informed decision-making by the client. What is a key ethical obligation for real estate agents under Florida agency law? Is it A, to guarantee the highest sale price, B, to provide free legal advice, C, to always work independently, or D, to avoid conflicts of interest? The answer is D, to avoid conflicts of interest. Real estate agents in Florida must avoid conflicts of interest, ensuring their professional judgment is not compromised by personal gain. What must a real estate agent in Florida do if they have a personal interest in a transaction? Is it A, abstain from the transaction, B, disclose the interest to all parties, C, reduce their commission, or D, seek approval from their broker? The answer is B, disclose the interest to all parties. Agents must disclose any personal interest in a transaction to all parties involved to maintain transparency and uphold ethical standards. Fiduciary duties and client representation. What is the primary fiduciary duty of a real estate agent under Florida agency law when representing a client? Is it A, loyalty, B, disclosure, C, accounting, or D, confidentiality? The answer is A, loyalty. Loyalty is the primary fiduciary duty, requiring agents to act in the best interest of their clients, prioritizing client needs above their own interests or those of third parties. Which fiduciary duty requires a Florida real estate agent to keep a client's information private? Is it A, obedience, B, C, confidentiality, or D, disclosure? The answer is C, Confidentiality. Confidentiality obliges agents to protect private information of clients, maintaining trust and ensuring sensitive details are not disclosed without consent. In Florida, what fiduciary duty requires a real estate agent to provide all known facts that materially affect the value of a property? Is it A, loyalty, B, obedience, C, confidentiality, or D, disclosure? The answer is D, disclosure. Disclosure mandates agents to reveal all known material facts affecting property value, ensuring clients make informed decisions. Under Florida agency law, what does the duty of accounting entail for real estate agents? Is it A, loyalty, B, accounting, C, disclosure, or D, confidentiality? The answer is B, accounting. Accounting requires agents to accurately manage and report all financial transactions related to the client, ensuring transparency and trust. How does the duty of obedience affect a real estate agent's actions under Florida agency law? Is it A, it requires following lawful client instructions, B, it mandates prioritizing client interests, C, it involves maintaining client confidentiality, or D, it necessitates disclosing all material facts? The answer is A, it requires following lawful client instructions. Obedience requires agents to follow the lawful instructions of their clients, provided those instructions are within the scope of the agency agreement and legal. Florida Ethics Guidelines and Enforcement. Under Florida agency law, which of the following actions would most likely constitute a breach of fiduciary duty by a real estate agent? Is it A, providing accurate property information to a buyer, B, negotiating the best possible price for a client, C, disclosing confidential client information without consent, or D, advising a client to seek legal counsel for contract review? The answer is C, disclosing confidential client information without consent. A breach of fiduciary duty occurs when an agent fails to act in the best interest of their client, such as disclosing confidential information without consent. Which entity is responsible for enforcing ethical guidelines for real estate professionals in Florida? Is it A, Florida Real Estate Commission, B, National Association of Realtors, C, Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, or D, Federal Trade Commission? The answer is A, Florida Real Estate Commission. The Florida Real Estate Commission is responsible for enforcing the ethical guidelines and regulations governing real estate professionals in Florida. What is the primary purpose of the Florida Ethics Guidelines for real estate professionals? Is it A, to increase real estate sales, B, to maintain public trust in the real estate industry, C, to regulate commission structures, or D, to promote competition among agents? The answer is B, to maintain public trust in the real estate industry. The guidelines are designed to ensure that real estate professionals act with integrity and fairness, maintaining public trust and confidence in the industry. If a Florida real estate agent is found guilty of unethical behavior, what is one possible consequence they might face? Is it A, mandatory additional training, B, increased commission rates, C, public apology requirement, or D, license suspension or revocation? The answer is D, license suspension or revocation. Consequences for unethical behavior can include fines, suspension, or revocation of a real estate license, depending on the severity of the violation. What is a key component of the ethical guidelines that Florida real estate agents must adhere to when representing clients? Is it A, loyalty to client interests, B, maximizing personal profit, C, disclosing all offers to third parties, or D, prioritizing agency profits? The answer is A, loyalty to client interests. Loyalty is a fundamental component of ethical guidelines, requiring agents to prioritize their clients' interests above their own.
Notice the code in the corner? When you're stumped by a question, enter it at birdsey.ai for immediate help. Enjoy complimentary study sessions and access to hundreds of additional questions to help you pass your exam with confidence.
Next, let's review Florida real estate financing. Mortgage loans and financing options. What is the primary purpose of a deed of trust in Florida real estate financing? Is it A, to transfer ownership to the lender? B, to provide insurance for the property? C, to secure the property as collateral for the loan? Or D, to establish property tax rates? The answer is C, to secure the property as collateral for the loan. A deed of trust involves three parties: borrower, lender, and trustee. It secures the property as collateral for the loan, allowing the trustee to foreclose if the borrower defaults. Which type of mortgage allows a borrower to pay only interest for a specified period before principal payments begin? Is it A, fixed-rate mortgage, B, interest-only mortgage, C, adjustable-rate mortgage, or D, balloon mortgage? The answer is B, interest-only mortgage. An interest-only mortgage allows the borrower to pay only the interest for an initial term, resulting in lower payments initially but requiring full principal repayment later. What is a key feature of an FHA loan that makes it attractive to first-time homebuyers in Florida? Is it A, lower down payment requirements, B, no credit check, C, no mortgage insurance required, or D, fixed interest rates only? The answer is A, lower down payment requirements. FHA loans are popular among first-time buyers due to their lower down payment requirements, often as low as 3.5%, making homeownership more accessible. Which mortgage option is typically used for financing properties in rural areas and includes benefits like no down payment? Is it A, Federal Housing Administration, FHA loan, B, U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, VA loan, C, conventional loan, or D, U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA loan? The answer is D, U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA loan. The USDA loan program is designed for rural property financing, offering benefits such as no down payment to promote homeownership in less populated areas. What distinguishes a jumbo loan from other types of mortgage loans in Florida? Is it A, lower interest rates, B, exceeds conforming loan limits, C, government backing, or D, available only for first-time buyers? The answer is B, exceeds conforming loan limits. Jumbo loans exceed the conforming loan limits set by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, requiring stricter credit criteria and larger down payments. Loan applications and approval processes. What is the primary purpose of the loan estimate form in Florida's financing process? Is it A, to finalize the loan agreement with the lender, B, to offer borrowers a clear understanding of loan terms and costs, C, to assess the borrower's creditworthiness, or D, to serve as a contract for the loan amount? The answer is B, to offer borrowers a clear understanding of loan terms and costs. The loan estimate form provides detailed information about the loan terms and estimated costs, helping borrowers make informed decisions. It must be provided within 3 business days of receiving a loan application. Which of the following is not a factor considered during the loan approval process in Florida? Is it A, credit score, B, income level, C, employment history, or D, personal lifestyle preferences? The answer is D, personal lifestyle preferences. Lenders typically assess credit score, income, and employment history when approving a loan. Personal preferences, such as lifestyle choices, are irrelevant to the loan approval process. How many days does a lender have to provide a closing disclosure before the closing of a mortgage loan in Florida? Is it A, 1 business day, B, 2 business days, C, 3 business days, or D, 5 business days? The answer is C, 3 business days. The closing disclosure must be provided to the borrower at least 3 business days before closing, allowing them time to review the final terms and costs of the loan. What role does the debt-to-income ratio play in the loan application process in Florida? Is it A, it evaluates the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments, B, it determines the interest rate for the loan, C, it calculates the total loan amount available to the borrower, or D, it assesses the property's value for the loan? The answer is A, it evaluates the borrower's ability to manage monthly payments. The DTI ratio helps lenders assess a borrower's financial capacity by comparing monthly debt payments to gross monthly income, influencing loan approval and terms. Which document is essential for verifying a borrower's employment during the loan approval process in Florida? Is it A, loan estimate, B, verification of employment form, C, closing disclosure, or D, credit report? The answer is B, verification of employment form. A verification of employment form is used to confirm a borrower's employment status, salary, and job stability, crucial for assessing loan eligibility. Florida Mortgage Disclosure Requirements. What is the purpose of the Florida Mortgage Disclosure Requirements? Is it A, to increase lender profits, B, to ensure borrowers are informed about their mortgage terms, C, to simplify the mortgage application process, or D, to reduce the number of mortgage applications? The answer is B, to ensure borrowers are informed about their mortgage terms. The Florida Mortgage Disclosure Requirements ensure borrowers receive all necessary information about their mortgage, promoting transparency and informed decision-making. This helps borrowers understand the terms, costs, and risks associated with their mortgage. Which document must lenders provide to borrowers under Florida's mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, loan estimate, B, credit report, C, title insurance policy, or D, appraisal report? The answer is A, loan estimate. The loan estimate is a key document provided to borrowers outlining the loan terms, projected payments, and closing costs, ensuring borrowers understand financial obligations before committing. When must the closing disclosure be provided to the borrower under Florida law? Is it A, 1 day before closing, B, on the day of closing, C, 3 business days before closing, or D, a week after closing? The answer is C, 3 business days before closing. The closing disclosure must be provided at least 3 business days before closing. This time frame allows borrowers to review and understand the final terms and costs of their mortgage. What information is not typically included in the loan estimate provided under Florida mortgage disclosure requirements? Is it A, loan terms, B, projected payments, C, closing costs, or D, borrower's employment history? The answer is D, borrower's employment history. The loan estimate includes loan terms, projected payments, and closing costs. It does not include the borrower's personal employment history, which is part of the loan application process. How do Florida's mortgage disclosure requirements affect adjustable rate mortgage disclosures? Is it A, they require detailed information about rate changes and caps, B, they eliminate the need for disclosing rate changes, C, they focus only on fixed-rate mortgages, or D, they allow lenders to omit rate change information? The answer is A, they require detailed information about rate changes and caps. Florida's disclosure requirements mandate clear information on how adjustable rates can change, including caps and potential payment increases, ensuring borrowers understand the risks of fluctuating interest rates.
If you're finding this helpful, please take a minute to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, useful tips, and complimentary study sessions with Birdsey.
Florida-specific loan programs. Which Florida-specific loan program is designed to assist first-time homebuyers with down payment assistance? Is it A, Florida First-Time Homebuyer Program, B, Florida Veterans Home Loan Program, C, Florida Green Home Loan Program, or D, Florida Rural Housing Loan Program? The answer is A, Florida First-Time Homebuyer Program. The Florida First-Time Homebuyer Program offers down payment assistance to eligible residents, helping them overcome financial barriers to homeownership. This program is particularly beneficial for those who struggle to save for a down payment. What is the primary purpose of the Florida Bond Program in real estate financing? Is it A, to provide tax credits for home improvements, B, to offer below-market interest rates and down payment assistance, C, to fund public housing projects, or D, to support commercial real estate development? The answer is B, to offer below-market interest rates and down payment assistance. The Florida Bond Program aims to provide below-market interest rates and down payment assistance to eligible homebuyers, making homeownership more affordable for low to moderate income families. Which type of loan is specifically tailored for Florida residents purchasing homes in designated rural areas? Is it A, ATT, B, VA loan, C, USDA Rural Development Loan, or D, Florida Jumbo Loan? The answer is C, USDA Rural Development Loan. The USDA Rural Development Loan is designed for residents in rural areas, offering benefits like no down payment, making homeownership accessible in less urbanized regions. What advantage does the Florida Housing Finance Corporation offer to eligible homebuyers? Is it A, higher interest rates for better investment returns, B, mandatory home improvement loans, C, increased property taxes for new homeowners, or D, lower interest rates and down payment assistance? The answer is D, lower interest rates and down payment assistance. The FHFC provides various benefits, including lower interest rates and down payment assistance, to help make homeownership more affordable for Florida residents with moderate incomes. How does the Florida Hometown Heroes housing program benefit eligible professionals? Is it A, by offering tax deductions on home purchases, B, by providing down payment and closing cost assistance, C, by reducing mortgage insurance premiums, or D, by guaranteeing a fixed interest rate for 30 years? The answer is B, by providing down payment and closing cost assistance. The program provides down payment and closing cost assistance to frontline workers, such as teachers and healthcare professionals, recognizing their community contributions and easing their path to homeownership. Florida Housing Finance Corporation. What is the primary role of the Florida Housing Finance Corporation? Is it A, regulating real estate agents in Florida, B, financing affordable housing projects, C, managing public parks and recreation, or D, issuing building permits in Florida? The answer is B, financing affordable housing projects. The FHFC is tasked with providing affordable housing opportunities for Floridians. It achieves this by financing affordable housing development and offering homeownership programs to low and moderate income residents. Which program is administered by the FHFC to assist first-time homebuyers in Florida? Is it A, Florida First, B, Florida Parks and Recreation, C, Florida Business Development, or D, Florida Transportation Initiative? The answer is A, Florida First. The FHFC administers the Florida First program, which offers low-interest loans and down payment assistance to first-time homebuyers, making homeownership more accessible. How does the FHFC support affordable rental housing in Florida? Is it A, by regulating rental prices, B, by offering tenant relocation services, C, by providing tax credits to developers, or D, by controlling building codes? The answer is C, by providing tax credits to developers. The FHFC supports affordable rental housing by allocating tax credits and providing loans to developers, which incentivizes the construction and maintenance of affordable rental units. Which demographic does the FHFC primarily aim to assist with its programs? Is it A, low to moderate income families, B, high-income investors, C, luxury homebuyers, or D, commercial property developers? The answer is A, low to moderate income families. The FHFC primarily targets low to moderate income families and individuals, helping them access affordable housing through various financial assistance programs. What type of financial assistance does the FHFC offer to support affordable housing development? Is it A, full project funding, B, luxury housing grants, C, market rate loans, or D, low-interest loans and tax credits? The answer is D, low-interest loans and tax credits. The FHFC provides low-interest loans, grants, and tax credits to developers, which are critical in reducing the cost of developing affordable housing projects. Let's check your understanding of Florida disclosure requirements and forms. Florida-specific disclosure requirements. What must be included in a Florida-specific property disclosure form regarding the presence of radon gas? Is it A, a statement about water quality, B, details about local crime rates, C, a warning about radon gas and its health risks, or D, information about school district boundaries? The answer is C, a warning about radon gas and its health risks. Florida law mandates that all residential property sales include a disclosure about the potential presence of radon gas, emphasizing health risks. This ensures buyers are informed about environmental hazards. Which of the following is a required disclosure for sellers of property in a flood zone in Florida? Is it A, flood zone designation, B, proximity to public transportation, C, historical property tax rates, or D, local weather patterns? The answer is A, flood zone designation. Sellers must disclose if a property is in a flood zone as it impacts insurance requirements and potential flood risks. This is crucial for buyer awareness and financial planning. In Florida, what must be disclosed regarding homeowner association fees? Is it A, the age of the property, B, the number of bedrooms, C, the property's energy efficiency, or D, the amount and frequency of HOA fees? The answer is D, the amount and frequency of HOA fees. Florida law requires sellers to disclose the existence and obligations of an HOA, including fees, to ensure buyers understand potential financial commitments and community rules. What is required in a Florida-specific lead-based paint disclosure for homes built before 1978? Is it A, a list of previous owners, B, information about known lead-based paint hazards, C, the property's construction materials, or D, the color of the exterior paint? The answer is B, information about known lead-based paint hazards. Federal and Florida laws require disclosure of known lead-based paint hazards in homes built before 1978 to protect against health risks, especially for children and pregnant women. Which disclosure is mandatory for Florida sellers regarding sinkhole activity? Is it A, disclosure of any known sinkhole activity, B, details about neighborhood demographics, C, the presence of termite damage, or D, information on nearby wildlife? The answer is A, disclosure of any known sinkhole activity. Florida law requires sellers to disclose any known sinkhole activity or claims as it significantly affects property value and safety. This transparency is vital for informed buyer decisions.
Don't forget to comment below with your tips, challenges, and thoughts on exam preparation. Your experiences can make a big difference for others.
Commonly used Florida forms. Which form is typically used in Florida to disclose the presence of lead-based paint in residential properties built before 1978? Is it A, property condition disclosure, B, lead-based paint disclosure, C, seller's disclosure of known facts, or D, environmental hazard disclosure? The answer is B, lead-based paint disclosure. The lead-based paint disclosure form is mandatory for properties built before 1978 to inform buyers or renters about potential lead exposure as required by federal law. What is the main purpose of the Florida Seller's Property Disclosure Form? Is it A, to inform buyers of material facts about the property, B, to outline the terms of the sales contract, C, to provide a list of recent renovations, or D, to specify the property's market value? The answer is A, to inform buyers of material facts about the property. The seller's property disclosure form is used to inform potential buyers of material facts and conditions affecting the property's value, helping avoid future disputes. Which form is used in Florida to authorize a real estate broker to act as a transaction broker? Is it A, exclusive right of sale listing agreement, B, single agent notice, C, consent to transition to transaction broker, or D, no brokerage relationship notice? The answer is C, consent to transition to transaction broker. The consent to transition to transaction broker form allows a real estate broker to shift from a single agent to a transaction broker, providing limited representation to both parties. What information must be included in a Florida Homeowners Association disclosure? Is it A, the association's financial statements, B, the names of the board members, C, the community's architectural guidelines, or D, membership obligations and assessments? The answer is D, membership obligations and assessments. The Florida Homeowners Association disclosure must include details about association membership, assessments, and restrictions, ensuring buyers understand their obligations and rights within the community. In Florida, what is the purpose of the radon gas disclosure? Is it A, to inform buyers of the potential presence of radon gas, B, to certify the property is radon-free, C, to provide radon mitigation options, or D, to outline state radon testing requirements? The answer is A, to inform buyers of the potential presence of radon gas. The radon gas disclosure informs buyers about the potential presence of radon gas, a natural radioactive gas that can pose health risks, ensuring they are aware before purchasing. Specific procedures for transactions. What is the primary purpose of the Florida Seller's Property Disclosure Form? Is it A, to guarantee the buyer's satisfaction, B, to disclose known material defects, C, to set the final sale price, or D, to transfer property title? The answer is B, to disclose known material defects. The Florida Seller's Property Disclosure Form is designed to inform potential buyers of any known material defects in the property. This ensures transparency and helps buyers make informed decisions. In Florida, which of the following transactions typically requires a lead-based paint disclosure? Is it A, new constructions, B, commercial properties, C, residential properties built before 1978, or D, vacant land? The answer is C, residential properties built before 1978. Properties built before 1978 require lead-based paint disclosures due to potential health risks. This is a federal requirement enforced in Florida to protect buyers and tenants. Which document is used in Florida real estate transactions to ensure a buyer is aware of the homeowner association regulations? Is it A, HOA disclosure summary, B, property appraisal report, C, seller's affidavit, or D, title insurance policy? The answer is A, HOA disclosure summary. The HOA disclosure summary informs buyers about the homeowner association's rules, fees, and restrictions. This is crucial for buyers to understand their obligations and rights within the community. What is the role of the as-is contract in Florida real estate transactions? Is it A, to ensure all repairs are completed, B, to guarantee a mortgage approval, C, to provide insurance coverage, or D, to sell the property without repairs? The answer is D, to sell the property without repairs. The as-is contract allows the sale of property without the seller making repairs. Buyers can inspect the property and decide whether to proceed, ensuring they are aware of any issues before finalizing the purchase. When is a CDD, Community Development District, disclosure required in a Florida real estate transaction? Is it A, for all residential properties, B, when the property is in a community development district, C, for properties over 50 years old, or D, only for commercial properties? The answer is B, when the property is in a community development district. A CDD disclosure is required when a property is located within a community development district. This informs buyers of additional taxes or assessments for infrastructure improvements.
Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to our channel for more practice exams, tips, and tricks. And don't forget to visit birdsey.ai for complimentary study sessions with Birdsey, your AI-powered study partner.